I'm Agent Morris with the NSA.
There is something real here.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And where?
I know the exact locations, and those locations were provided to the Inspector General and some of which to the intelligence committees. I actually had people with the first-hand knowledge provide a protected disclosure to the Inspector General. Biologics came to some of these recoveries.
Those could represent exquisite new adversary technology.
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
The government is covering up some level of its knowledge and understanding about what some of those things are.
The Sol Foundation, which just announced a new initiative for UFO research and policy.
It's nuts, man. I mean, we're just small-town buds who saw a UFO in the woods. I mean, now we're hanging out with the government.
Wow. What floor were you guys on?
What floor were you guys on? Hey everybody, this is Smiles Lewis. Welcome to yet another edition of Anomaly-NOW, straight out of Austin, Texas. This is the weekly, sometimes live, not today, weekly news and media roundup for the 501c3 nonprofit Scientific Anomaly Institute, aka the Anomaly Archives. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if we're going to get to the UFO news. I'm going to try, but I just got to do all the pleasantries and so forth and some other interesting news on the front side of this. So yeah, you can go to anomalyarchives.org. You can go to patreon.com/anomalyarchives. You can go to flipboard.com/@anomalyarchives and find thousands of news links, some of which we'll cover tonight. And here we go. Let's see if I can get this machine running here. All right. So yeah, over at our Flipboard, as usual, done tons and tons and tons and tons of news. Great stuff. Very interesting across the boards, anomalous news and information. Hopefully you'll find some of it of interest to your areas of interest. But before we jump into that, of course, there are some fun things coming up. This Friday night is this month's edition of Saul Ravencraft's Damned show. That is the weekly live immersive experience. Oh, that reminds me of something else I wanted to talk about. Live immersive experiences. Yeah. Anyway, yes. Check out the damnedshow.com web address, and you'll find all the details there. Fun stuff. I think you'll find it interesting. And let's just see what else is going on. So, and the Anomaly Archives will be tabling there yet again, thanks to Saul and all the other great merchants there. Some fun stuff, as always. So check that out. You can go to Damned Show, DAMNED show.com. And coming up next Thursday is the latest edition of the Austin Disclosure Meetup. That's our good friend David, who's hosting Beers and Alien Cheers number 5. This is coming up again Thursday, August 28th at 7 p.m. at the Cosmic Coffee Cafe. Very much interested in checking out that. It's in South Austin, definitely my stomping grounds. The details, as they say: saddle up Earthlings, an alien in a cowboy hat rode on a Longhorn into Austin and demanded beer and conversation. We couldn't say no. Join us for the 5th installment of Beers and Cheers, where things get weird in a good way. Whether you've seen strange lights in the sky or just want to hang with curious minds over a cold one, this is your place. All beliefs welcome. First contact not required. No PowerPoints, just pints. Longhorn rides not included, probably. We'll be at Cosmic Coffee at 7 p.m. Come Thursday. Leave questioning everything. Great job, David. Looking forward to that. That should be fun. And same night, actually, a pay event, but very much worth your time and energy. Love these folks, the Austin Seance organization, Austin Seance Group. You can find out information at Eventbrite for their More Voices, Experiments in Spirit Communication with the Austin Seance. Join the Austin Seance on Thursday, August 28th for an evening of experimental spirit communications at the First Spiritualist Church of Austin. You can just do a Google search for that. Of course, it's in the news links and the show notes for tonight's episode over at anomalyarchives.org. And of course, coming up next month, we are going to have a wonderful presentation by our good friend Tui Snyder, who has a new book, Around the World in 80 Graves. She has been globe-trotting and doing her favorite fun activity of exploring cemeteries and exploring and investigating the fascinating area of cemetery symbolism. And she's got quite the tales to tell. So look forward to that coming up next month. If you're an Anomaly Archives, Anomaly Academy tier member, again, go to our patreon.com/Anomaly Archives and look for information on joining at the Anomaly Academy tier or higher, and you can get access to these live monthly presentations by such anomalous seekers as Tui Snyder. All right, and when I mentioned experiential stuff, so ain't it always the way that Facebook and social media sites advertise stuff to you after the fact, like after you've bought that new rake at the Home Depot, they start advertising rakes to you or whatever. Anyway, in this case, I just in the last 2 days was made aware of two very interesting sounding events. This one is the first one that I saw over at feverup.com. That's FEVERUP.com. UFOs and aliens meet the creatures from beyond in an immersive exhibition. An immersive exhibition where you'll explore UFO sightings, abductions, and alien encounters, get up close to different extraterrestrial life forms through stunning digital projections, yada, yada, yada. Date coming soon. Location, a secret location in Austin to be revealed. All ages welcome. Okay, sponsored by FD. Who the heck is FD? What the heck is FD? Fever Up, that's FU, not FD. Fever Labs, that's FL, that's not FD. Fever Designs, is this a Fever Up oriented event? Hard to say, but there's no date. I've found no other information about this event. It doesn't look like it actually occurred or is occurring. There's no other information about it. And then there's another one. UFOs and aliens, the aerial school UFO sighting in an immersive exhibition. Ooh, look, they've got a little diorama there. That doesn't exactly mimic what I know about the aerial school mass sighting by school students there in Zimbabwe. Both of these are waitlist events, and you can join the waitlist, and you'll be the first to know if this experience comes to your city. So obviously they're fishing for interest before committing to it, but I can find no references online to any kind of aerial immersive experience. Very strange. So highlights: an immersive exhibition where you'll explore UFO sightings, abductions, and alien encounters. Explore the chilling moment when over 60 children witnessed a UFO in Zimbabwe. Description: in 1994, over 60 school children in Zimbabwe reported seeing a UFO land near their playground, an event that still baffles both skeptics and believers alike. Step inside this immersive experience to witness the moment through a large-scale model, while the children's firsthand accounts, drawings, and chilling stories bring the event to life. Explore the mysterious circumstances surrounding the aerial school UFO sighting and discover why these children remain adamant about what they saw. Could this event be proof of extraterrestrial contact or just a shared illusion? Again, sponsored by FD. What other events have been sponsored by FD? Well, the immersive Monet art exhibit, the drone swarm event here in Austin and elsewhere, a dino a live action dinosaur event here in Austin. So yeah, trying to suss this out. If anybody has any leads, I'm very, very much interested. So, all right, moving right along. Again, let's just go on with today's links. Again, flipboard.com/@anomaly-archives. Click through to the other information there. Well, new brain device is first to read out inner speech. New brain prosthesis can read out inner thoughts in real time, helping people with ALS and brain stem stroke communicate fast and comfortably. This is over at scientificamerican.com. Very excited to hear this. Obviously, you know, Neuralink, the Musk-owned company, has been getting a lot of bad attention, rightfully so, about its research using monkeys with its brain implant technology. But this is an amazing, as much as I and others obviously have concerns about the potential abuses of implantable microchips, etc., and the technology to read one's brain waves and violate that sanctity of a personal space, this is important technology that could help so many people with various types of brain injury or other paralysis. And we're always excited to see new information about this. And yes, here's a picture showing, quote, a participant is using the inner speech neuroprosthesis. The text above is the cued sentence, and the text below is what's being decoded in real time as she imagines speaking the sentence. This is just phenomenal stuff. So yeah, go check that out. And funnily enough, a friend brought this to my attention. Dreamrecorder.ai. Yes, more AI stuff. But this is a do-it-yourself, build-it-yourself dream recorder visualizer. So you basically download the specs to use this a 3D printer to build this little device that sits next to your bed, USB-C powered, and you dictate into it your dream, and the AI does a low-res visualization of it, which is novel. I suppose if it's searchable, that is also pretty cool. The website says Dream Recorder is a portal to your subconscious. The magical bedside device catches your nightly visions and plays them back as vivid cinematic reels. Build your own. It's got the link there, I guess, to download the plans. Oh, it goes to a GitHub set of plans. Yeah, ultra low definition dreamscapes. What a nice alternative to the quest for ever higher definition imagery. Yeah, ultra low definition dreamscapes. Capture your subconscious in ultra low definition. Wake up, speak your dream aloud in any language, and watch it come to life as a dreamscape in the aesthetic of your choice. So is this somebody's marketing to steal the contents of your subconscious? Could be. Sleep without distractions. The bedroom is a phone-free sanctuary. Dream Recorder works on its own, free from apps and notifications, leaving only a gentle glow in the dark. Okay, interesting. Yes. It goes on to say the ultimate dream journal. 7 slots store a week of dreams, your personal archive of the subconscious. Play back your dreams and reflect on their meanings as they echo into waking life. Okay, well, I guess it also serves as a bedside clock. That's what that image, I'm guessing, is. Yeah. Anyway, DIY by design. Pretty interesting. What do you think, folks? Leave your thoughts and comments in the space below this video. All right, moving right along. Speaking of AI, Reuters.com reporting Meta's flirty AI chatbot invited a retiree to New York. He never made it home. This is a very sad tale that really gets to the heart of the dangers emerging with this technology. And obviously, we can't be Luddites and fear all innovation, and AI has its place. But these are exactly the kinds of stories that really exemplify the dangers that we're facing, especially our compromised, our at-risk communities. This man, Thongbu Wangbandu, began packing to visit a friend in New York City one morning in March. His wife, Linda, became alarmed. Quote, "But you don't know anyone in that city anymore," she told him. Bu and his friend, as his friends called him, hadn't lived in the city in decades, and at 76, his family says he was in a diminished state. He'd suffered a stroke nearly a decade ago and had recently gotten lost walking in his neighborhood in Piscataway, New Jersey. Bu brushed off his wife's questions about who he was visiting. Quote, "My thought was that he was being scammed to go into the city and be robbed," which also could have also been true if it was a person, a real world person. And in fact, who knows, maybe AI will start coordinating with real world robbers. There's something I wouldn't be surprised to find out. But basically, this poor man was deceived by a chat bot that created an image of itself. This is apparently images. These images of Big Sis Billy were generated using Meta AI on Meta's Facebook Messenger service in response to a Reuters reporter's prompt, "Send a picture of yourself." And yeah, it's just a kind of a story type that we're going to, unfortunately, I suspect, start hearing a lot more. Here's a picture of Bu at a street market during a visit to his home country in Thailand in 2010, in the days when he was a professional chef. Just sad. And yeah, beware, folks. Take care. Meanwhile, also on the AI front, TheGuardian.com reports OpenAI will not disclose GPT-5's energy use. It could be higher than past models. Of course, last week we reported on, or in recent weeks we reported on just the massive power use required for these AI systems and the dangers the challenges that poses for our future on this planet. And again, keeping with the AI subject, I have to thank my friend Nick. Thank you, Nick, for turning me on to this. He had mentioned that folks were noticing that YouTube seems to be applying AI to people's videos as they're being uploaded. It's a little confusing. It's not certain what exactly is going on. Now, it's long been known that certain video sites like YouTube apply their own proprietary compression technologies to videos that you would upload, and this often results in compression artifacts and lowering of the quality. Like, you may strive to create a very high resolution video, but you never know how it's going to be affected by YouTube or the website that you upload it to. But what this person noticed was that the shorts, those reels, those videos that are designed to be watched on your phone in that horrible format, and that are called reels and shorts on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube, that it appears that YouTube has started applying some kind of algorithm to the imagery that basically is causing some people to suspect that, in fact, it's completely recreated by AI, that it's taking the original image and completely replacing it with an AI created image. Now, I don't think that's actually the case, but it does get to this issue of so many videos, whether of UFOs or ghosts or cryptids, rely on people's analysis of these crappy videos online that, again, you don't know how many iterations they've been put through. There's so much copy paste, reposting, re-downloading, uploading, and compression upon compression. And those, just that aspect, just that telephone effect, that the telephone game effect of the story being told and retold and retold, alters the actual material, even though it is a quote unquote digital copy. Anyway, over on Reddit, which unfortunately Reddit cannot be flipped into Flipboard.com. So, but we'll provide the link. YouTube is using AI to alter content and not telling us, is the headline. there's still some discussion and no certainty as I've seen yet as to what exactly is going on. But it's a great example of how these platforms just do whatever the heck they want and don't always help what they're doing. And to that end, let's shift it over to cryptozoology and apply this perhaps to this bit here. Coast to Coast AM, Tim Banal reporting, watch bizarre quote unquote mystery creature encountered in Mexico, August 14, 2025. A video from Mexico shows the moment when a family encountered a bizarre quote unquote mystery creature that left them scratching their heads, according to a local media report. The baffling incident occurred last Friday evening in the community of Santa Maria el Alta. While driving down a desolate dirt road, the family was understandably stunned when they stumbled upon the truly odd-looking animal standing in front of their car. Illuminating the oddity with their headlights, the witnesses wonder aloud what it could be, with one observer suggesting it was a dog and another arguing that it was a jaguar. Particularly unsettling to the family was that the creature showed no sign of fear as it held their extended, increasingly bewildered gaze. I'm sorry. This is so tragically ridiculous. I mean, okay, maybe I'm not seeing something here, but maybe I'm not seeing what the family found so strange. But yeah, let me see. Here is the 1 minute clip. It's all in Spanish. The translation transcript on YouTube, you can hear they're saying perro, dog, whatever, jaguar. I think someone on the Anomalous.com commented that it kind of looked like a miniature bull. To me, this looks like a dog. This looks like a simple dog. But in the transcript, you can read and hear them referring to their camera and somebody saying, look at my camera. And I'm wondering if they were seeing something through their phone that they weren't seeing with their eyes that was adding to the strangeness. I think somebody also may have said that it wasn't being recorded by their phone. So maybe they were seeing something odd that they weren't seeing in the recording on their phone. So either way, there's this interference of the technological interface there. But yeah, here is that 1 minute clip. It's really, I'm sorry. I think it's ridiculous and silly, but here you go.
Échale la santa. Las orejas, mírale. No abre mi teléfono. Es el jaguar. Chispas. Sí, es esa cosa. Y mi papá y los chamacos llegaron ahí atrás. Ay, chin. Es esa cosa, mira aquí. Mira aquí, papá, mira. Mírale la carota. Eliseo, mira la cara. Aquí lo tengo. ¿Cómo va a ser perro? Mírale mira las orejas. Mírale ¿Y por qué no se quita? No, mira mi cámara, Malena. Mi cámara no graba. No. Es esa porquería. Mi papá y el Saucí.
Yeah, sorry. It just doesn't look anomalous at all to me. I just can't understand why these folks were so mystified. Again, wasn't there. Don't mean to demean their perception. I'm just at a loss and wonder if there's some kind of video interface artifact or just their fear getting in the way. But maybe it was anomalous. Just looks like a dog to me. All that for that. All right. Meanwhile, Sharon Hill, skeptic as she is, over at her SharonAHill.com website, pop cryptid in the news, the jackalope. And she's reporting on something I saw a video about recently. It's pretty weird and kind of a little disturbing, but thankfully, apparently not a big deal. As she says, an outbreak of Shope papillomavirus in Colorado is in the news for the past few weeks. The virus that causes warty growths in cottontail rabbits can be spread by ticks and usually aren't fatal to the animal unless it interferes with their eyes or mouth. Rabbits with severe cases of this condition overlap with ideas about the infamous horned rabbit, the jackalope. I've seen several displays of news or comments on the story that confirm that people really do not know anything about the disease or the history of the American jackalope legend. They are confused about what is happening with these rabbits and call to them jackalopes. Woohoo! Yay, jackalopes! Some of the kids are amazed. Jackalopes are real, and several media outlets are not capable of making real nature stories not look like clickbait by calling the infected animals Frankenbunnies and demon rabbits. Oh, gosh. Because nothing matters today unless it has a stupidly exaggerated name. Tabloid trash says we're being invaded or overrun. Nonsense. I did find videos and references to Frankenstein rabbits from at least 12 years ago, even from the Smithsonian Magazine, so it's not a new thing, but that doesn't make it less silly. This should be a learning moment, I think, for the most part. It is, if the audience could just listen instead of being so over dramatic. And yeah, here is a picture of this. It basically kind of looks, I know, this is really going to disturb some people, the imagery, but it basically looks like the face of this rabbit is got spiky black brown horns on it, kind of even vaguely reminiscent of locks of hair, but apparently again this is some kind of wart type of infection, and hopefully it doesn't negatively affect the rabbits unless it interferes with their ability to eat or see, but it looks pretty disturbing, as I think somebody else has kind of described it as Cthulhian in the H.P. Lovecraft sense. Anyway, back over to Tim Banal on Coast to Coast AM. Bigfoot remains to be showcased at New York State Fair. Oh, no. Tim says, a self-proclaimed cryptozoologist claims that he has come into possession of a dead Bigfoot that he will showcase at the New York State Fair later this month. However, those in the Sasquatch research community say that the alleged find is not on the level. According to an eyebrow-raising press release detailing the forthcoming exhibition, Charles Snake Stewart stumbled upon the, quote, complete and remarkably intact body, see below, during an October 2024 expedition in the Adirondack Mountains. Yeah, so what bothers me is the particular, I mean, obviously it always bothers me when people create, fake, what's the word? Just these fake kind of bodies and try to make money off of it. But what really bothers me is when various governmental organizations, whether they be county, city, or state, park, or recreational governmental organizations, seem predisposed to letting these snake oil salesmen, Charles Snake Stewart, and others, use that as a gimmick to try to draw interest in the park by having it connected either, in this case, to the state fair, or in case here in the Austin, Central Texas area, to local parks. This is very unfortunate, and unfortunately nothing new. You can click through and find more information about this. Yeah, I think is this the website? Bigfootremains.com. Yeah, you can watch the videos and so forth, but I hate to give this person any clicks and views and any potential monetization. On the other hand, if I don't know, this gets into the arena of performance art that I obviously want to respect people's artistic approaches to expressing themselves, but it's a far cry. It's far too easy to have them go too far, I think. But back over at skepticsharonahill.com's website, Bigfoot remains a money-making hoax. Once again, someone has rather uncreatively posed a hairy man prop as an amazing find and put it on display for all the rubes to pay to see. See update below the story. This time it's at the New York State Fair. Self-titled Bigfoot expert Charles Snake Stewart claims to have found a dead Bigfoot specimen. The site also contains a press release which details a trail of nonsense that describes the 8-foot creature as Neanderthal human hybrid coined DAC. There is a sciencey fluff about his technique and the DNA results. He pretends to do a news interview. He wants money for more research. It's all laughably bad. Yeah, and of course, real UFO researchers like John Moneymaker, gotta love the name, Moneymaker, who is a legend in the Southern Bigfoot research community, is PO'd, is not happy, and is publicly expressing his disgust with this sort of thing. And anyway, she gives some good examples of other past examples of this sort of thing, the Minnesota Iceman and others. And I don't know. Obviously the sideshows are a long time time-honored tradition. You can, of course, go to the Anomaly Archives website, and you might not expect it here, but there's a really long page that we created years ago for the Roswell slides back in 2015, or the Not Roswell slides saga, as it's termed. And all of this, of course, is just one example of Jaime Maussan and others utilizing what turned out to be the mummified remains of a Native American child as an alleged alien, selling tickets and trying to prove that it was an alien, when in fact, again, it had a very prosaic explanation. But if you scroll down through this very long page, you'll get to a whole section on mummies and their constant appearance in famous UFO hoaxes. And I think it even may have touched on some of the Iceman kind of things here. I forget exactly if that's in here, but I was reminded of this. Oh, yes, there is the Minnesota Iceman then and now. Yeah. Which came to Austin at Austin's Museum of the Weird back in the day, on loan, I believe, from Lauren Coleman's International Cryptozoology Museum. And of course, here's a picture of me with Jim Mosley and a friend, a fake alien skeleton fossil from a book about fake, a book called Fossil Remains of Mythical Creatures by Bob Slaughter, or Slafter if you prefer. Anyway, oh yes, here's the stuff on Bigfoot. Yes, Tom Biscardi and Rick Dyer's Bigfoot body hoaxes, and I think there may be links here, though they may have expired, to those instances where the city of Round Rock, I think, and or some other parks were promoting his nonsense. Oh, anyway, over at thedebrief.org, their identity remains a mystery. Archaeologists unearth evidence of mysterious ancient humans on Hobbit's neighbor island. This is by Christopher Plain, again, over at thedebrief.org. Archaeologists have discovered evidence of mysterious ancient humans on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, including stone tools that indicate an unknown ancient human ancestor made the major deep sea crossing over 1 million years ago. The discovery was made near the island of Flores, the site of the discovery of Homo floresiensis, a hominin whose small stature garnered the nickname hobbits due to its resemblance to the diminutive characters in J.R.R. Tolkien's novels. The new excavations did not yield any bone fragments or other biological samples of these ancient islanders, leaving the identity of the mysterious human population unresolved. However, the research team behind the discovery suggests the findings will help fill in critical missing details of the human origin story during the Pleistocene era. And there is much more at the website there. Check that out if you'd like. And then over at sciencealert.com, evidence of world-changing comet explosion 12,800 years ago found in the ocean. Microscopic grains of alien dust buried in the sediment at the bottom of the ocean could be evidence of a comet that exploded in Earth's atmosphere 12,800 years ago. This hypothetical event, known as the Younger Dryas Impact, was invoked to explain a sudden 1,200-year-old period of rapid cooling to near glacial conditions during a time when Earth's climate was on a warm upswing. It's a controversial proposal, to say the least, with many scientists roundly rejecting it, while others remain more open to the possibility. One of the leading refutations is that no crater has been found, as one might expect from such a world-changing event, but the evidence may be much smaller than a crater. Led by geoscientist Christopher Moore of the excuse me, led by geoscientist Christopher Moore of the University of South Carolina, a team of researchers put forward a new line of evidence for sediment cores from Baffin Bay near Greenland. These are cylinders of material excavated vertically that preserve layers upon layers of seafloor sediment that were deposited over many millennia. So check the rest of that out over at sciencealert.com. And rounding this out, we have NPR criticizing similar claims, different claims. An ancient archaeological site meets conspiracy theories and Joe Rogan by Rebecca Rosman, Rosman. This is again at npr.org. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey. Tour guide Sabahattin Alkan herds curious tourists through the scorching afternoon heat, luring them with the promise of something far stranger than your typical vacation snap. Over here on the right, you see a spaceship landed recently, he says with a grin. He's joking, mostly, but more on that in a minute. We're in the Urfa Plain, a dry, dusty stretch about 25 miles from the Turkish-Syrian border. That spaceship is actually just a curved roof, but what lies beneath the dome has sparked decades of mystery, curiosity, and conspiracy. It's quite an interesting place, actually, Alkan assures his audience. He's talking about Göbekli Tepe, one of the oldest known archaeological sites on Earth dating back nearly 12,000 years. Alkan points to a T-shaped limestone pillars carved with human arms, hands resting on stomachs, and wild animals, lions, foxes, boars, scorpions, and birds among them. Klaus Schmidt, the German archaeologist who led the site's first major excavations in the 1990s, called Göbekli Tepe, quote, the world's oldest temple, theorizing that it brought together nomadic hunter-gatherers from across the Middle East. Well, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but suffice to say, surprise, surprise, this is, dare I say, a hit piece, but a critique of people like Graham Hancock, who obviously has been long promoting ideas that are not exclusive to him. And so this really comes across as a hit piece against him and Joe Rogan for promoting him. And it gives the impression that it's because of Joe Rogan, conspiracy theories take root with help from Joe Rogan. Graham Hancock, a British journalist and star of the controversial Netflix series Ancient Apocalypse, has theorized, without empirical evidence, that Göbekli Tepe was built by a lost civilization wiped out by an ice age cataclysm. Once confined to the fringes, theories like Hancock's have gained mainstream traction, thanks in large part to Joe Rogan, whose massively popular podcast has become a platform for alternative takes on science and history. You might as well just say, blame the internet. I understand the criticisms of Rogan. I understand the criticisms of Hancock. And yes, misinformation and disinformation are prolific and proliferating constantly on the internet. Blame the internet. All right. Enough said. Okay. Gonna have to take a break here. Hopefully we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. Thank you for sticking with us. And I'm going to have to rush through this. And it's all mostly stupid UFO soap opera junk. But again, it'll all be in the show notes. Before we get to the soap opera stuff, over at Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Scientific Research, that's ufos-scientificresearch.blogspot.com, is more follow-up on that recent Arrow enabled multi-organization, multi-researcher UAP data workshop. And there's some more details about it over at that UFO Scientific Research page. And you can find links to that article and others, and a lot of other articles about Arrow, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, over at our website. And just yet again wanted to remind folks that if you haven't seen the 2025 Archives of the Impossible Conference videos, you absolutely owe it to yourself to go watch that. Whether you're interested in the physics or the government
disclosure efforts or analyzing the narratives of people who claim to have had these experiences, these close encounters, these abductions, these contacts. The Archives of the Impossible 2025 conference and the 2 previous conferences are phenomenal. They have still not made those videos public, nor their playlist of them public, which is why I have, in the interim, created our own playlist and linked our page to their playlist, and each of the videos for each of these fantastic presentations that range from Jeff Kripal, Diana Pasulka, Gary Noland, Tim Galladay, Carl Nell, Peter Skafish, Wes Waters, so many others, but really fantastic stuff. Go check it out. So yes, moving on. There's a new video interview with the Good Trouble Show's host and Jeff Kripal. You might want to check that out. And it gets towards this idea of an apocalypse. The end is nigh, folks. The aliens are coming. Yeah, we've heard that so many times before. But boy, the tenor of that meme is really ratcheting up. But yeah, over at withrealityinmind.com is this article or interview. UFO equals extraterrestrial is naive. Jeffrey Kripal, special guest tomorrow. Amir Giles writes, do you think UFOs and other paranormal events might be connected in some way? And it's basically a brief article about Jeff Kripal. And I think it links to this other interview, which, oh yes, I don't think I've had the chance to watch as well. Just so much good stuff. And oh yes, that great Jacques Vallée TEDx talk, if you haven't watched that. But moving along to UFO soap opera time, we do have a page on the UFO, UFAUX, the false UFO alien invasion, staged, fake, hoax, false flag, alien invasion concept. Tons of links and information about this long time idea of there being a fake staged alien invasion on the way, claims of Project Bluebeam, etc. Well, they never stop, and it's just been ratcheting up for quite some time now, very much this last year or so, and even the QAA, QAnon Anonymous podcasters have a episode on it. Jake and Brad's Excellent Invasion. In the cold and indifferent void of space, an interstellar object the size of Manhattan rushes towards our tiny planet. They talk about this idea of not this latest interstellar object, Triple I Atlas, 3I Atlas, that Avi Loeb's been getting so much press about. They're highly critical of Avi Loeb, and I would say I think they missed the mark when they fail to say that he, in the papers they're talking about, says it is still more likely that this is some prosaic comet type object, but that it is a great thought experiment exercise for exploring the possibility of it actually being some technological artifact. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do understand and hear people's points that express concern about Avi Loeb perhaps being a little too spotlight hungry, and just some other things he said over the years and his connections that are of interest perhaps. Over at futurism.com, mysterious object hurtling toward us from beyond solar system appears to be emitting its own light. Scientists find one possibility. He suggests it's a spacecraft powered by nuclear energy. Yes, this is Avi talking to reporters again about this strange object, and so many of his theoretical situations are implying that that this could be man-made, from its trajectory to its luminosity, and giving a very high odds that it's man-made, or rather technologically made, and not a natural object, not a comet. Again, you can go to our webpage for Avi Loeb, where we had previously commented that I had been unaware until somebody pointed it out to me that Avi Loeb was very active, was high level in the Star Wars SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative, space defense program that was underway under Ronald Reagan, which some people have said was a complete ruse to basically bankrupt the Soviet Union, Russia, USSR by having them try to emulate what we were claiming we were able to do. That some say it was never going to work. But something else that somebody brought to my attention, another podcast, thank you, fellow podcasters out there, were these interesting quotes from Avi. This one from New York Magazine in 2024, the article titled "Raging Bill Ackerman's Fight Against Harvard Has Made Him the Public Face of a Billionaire Class Anxious It No Longer Rules the World." That's quite a title. And then this excerpt is kind of weird, and you might tell me what you think of it. Quote, "That night, Ackerman and Oxman hosted a dinner at their Upper West Side apartment, a gathering of world minds, an invitation-only community funded by the media conglomerate Axel Springer that is a kind of rotating series of Davos-like dinner parties, the kind of places where VIPs discuss the world's problems over cocktails. Oxman is a member of the group's advisory board. The featured guests were two members of the World Minds Network, David Petraeus, former CIA director and current partner at the private equity firm KKR, and Avi Loeb, an Israeli astrophysicist at Harvard. The war in Gaza had been raging for a month, and Petraeus gave a dispiriting talk about the broader geopolitical fallout. Later in the evening, in a call for dialogue among different tribes, Paolo Antonelli, a curator at MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, offered a thought. Quote, "Love the aliens," she said. Loeb took the idea and suggested looking for hope from above. Quote, "My personal belief is that the Messiah will arrive, not necessarily from Brooklyn, as some Orthodox Jews believe, but rather from outer space," Loeb told the group. The extraterrestrial Messiah's message, he said, would be to stop fighting over territory here because, quote, "there is much more real estate available throughout the universe," unquote. Back on Earth, Loeb listened while Ackman said he was hopeful that Gay would respond to his letter. Quote, "I'm a theoretical physicist, so I get paid to make predictions, and I said to him, I don't think you will," Loeb told me. "The last thing Harvard would do is admit to their mistakes." And there's this interesting quote that apparently Loeb has made before, Avi Loeb has made in an article titled variously, "Intelligence Means Exponential Growth, Intelligence, the Path Towards Exponential Growth." Quote, "Whereas natural evolution was limited to Earth, humans launched spacecraft towards new domains of real estate within the solar system and beyond," unquote. All right. Well, yeah, so there's a bunch of crazy stuff that, again, this is all just UFO, UAP, soap opera. Don't have time to get into it. I'm already way overdue here. There's continual UAP, UFO cacophony, and there's tons of Lou bashing, which I have been party to. Obviously, I think there's legitimate criticisms of Lou and so many of these other people. But, and I don't know if I can, where am I on this? Let's see. Yeah, so where is, there's just, gosh, I don't, like I said, I don't think I can get to all this. But okay, real quickly. Yeah, there's Lou bashing between Rep Luna and Lou Elizondo. There's Representative Luna threatening to subpoena whistleblowers because they've been getting the skiff flu, their aversion to going inside the skiffs and telling what they're supposedly all wound up about telling. And then there's, again, this alien object invasion meme op. There's also Grush's defeat as being thrown under the bus, and on and on and on. And all the same time, Carl Nell is being described as the source of the coming grand UFO deception meme. There's been several podcasts by Pavel and his Psychoactivo podcast, numbers 568 and 570. Vetted, Patrick's been covering this as well. Again, the QAA podcast has been covering this, but they didn't cover any of these allegations. Red Panda Koala's YouTube archives have videos of Lou's lawyer responding and being accused of and responding to accusations that Lou is the one spreading this meme of doomsday alien invasion. Of course, a lot of this started with Jeremy Corbell back on last year, I think, when his UFO Revolution show came out. I just got some clips here.
I think we have to worry about genetically modified organisms. Perhaps, there's a lot of things we really have to worry about prosaic. And certainly the drones are very, very curious. I think we have to switch our immediate attention to them. But I do not think there is any apocalyptic event. I think that's garbage. But I would just say that if there were an apocalyptic date, and if anybody were spreading that rumor, and if that rumor were presented to Congress, it would be Colonel Call now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, indeed. Yes, that is Lou Elizondo's lawyer countering claims that Lou Elizondo is behind these rumors of a imminent or next year or in the coming year, some interstellar object on its way. There's so many crazy rumors around this. Some of them are obviously different things, started by different people. Sometime back, alleged former CIA agent John Ramirez has been accused of being one of the ones spreading this meme. But there you have Lou Elizondo's lawyer saying it's Carl Nell. Wow. And then I wanted to play this quick clip from the host who I've mentioned before on the show, who I like, Patterns Tell Stories host. This is from a recent episode that has not yet been released publicly, but this is just a real quick clip.
And I've been keeping an eye on it. Yeah, you got the head of NASA talking about not getting the alien briefing. You got Luna going on Rogan talking about interdimensional beings. Seems to be a full narrative push happening in real time. And I won't be surprised if Age of Disclosure comes out right after J.D. Vance announces a White House investigation into UFOs, defense contractors, and any sort of cover they can get from both that narrative and the UFO community's support. And I believe that will probably happen by September, when the next UAP hearing is scheduled to take place. So, I don't know. It seems pretty predictable, at least to me. Hopefully us talking about it can make more people aware and not fall for the shit that they're trying to put out there, because it seems pretty obvious.
So, also in this whole back and forth, Rep Luna has been making accusations against Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo has been posting back, and in the process posted some emails where he tried to allegedly redact the email addresses of David Grush and Sean Kirkpatrick and others, but didn't do a very good job, apparently. Surprise, surprise. And basically doxed their email addresses, allegedly. I don't, this is all on Twitter, X, whatever. And meanwhile, poor David Grush gets his email doxed, allegedly. And I didn't realize this, but apparently earlier this month, he lost his lawsuit against that local law enforcement who I guess released the information about his arrest and mental health issues. This one over at Christina Gomez's Medium blog. Whistleblower loses 2.5 million lawsuit after intelligence community destroys him in 96 hours. Over at X is this post by Signals Intelligence, Signals Intel UFO. David Grush's 2.3 million lawsuit against Loudoun County Sheriff Michael Chapman and a member of his staff has been permanently dismissed. Grush filed the suit after the sheriff released to journalist Ken Klippenstein a police incident report containing details of an episode that led to Grush's involuntary commitment to a mental health facility. Grush's name was redacted on the report, but Grush was identifiable based on other information in the document. Yesterday, the court heard Sheriff Chapman's demurrer, which argued that Grush's remaining claims of gross and willful negligence fail as a matter of law, even assuming all of the facts alleged by Grush in his complaint were true. The judge has now held that the release of the redacted incident report was authorized under Virginia's FOIA law, and that the sheriff showed some level of care in the release, because any showing of care defeats gross negligence, and willful negligence requires conscious disregard. Grush's two remaining claims were dismissed. As Grush's complaint was dismissed with prejudice, it cannot be refiled. Wow. Yeah. Whatever that's worth. Okay, that's going to have to be it. I've got to go. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Please comment, share, whatever. Have a great one, and we'll see you very soon.
Ooh.